What's going on, everybody? So, today we have a new microphone, so we're going to see how that works for me. I figured out the audio problems in game, so hopefully the spikes no longer happen. The downside is there's going to be no music, there's going to be no audio. I tried doing it to where I had the audio turned up for music and sound effects. The music and sound effects basically still spiked every chance it got, and the static sound was just there. And so I decided to go completely mute on the gameplay footage. I will try to examine a way to put either some sort of music or some sort of background noise into here without breaking copyright rules, obviously. So today is going to be a video on grinding and metals. Now, the reason for this is I feel like doing character showcases and stuff like that, like I'm going to do today with Godfather, is really good. It's very informative. But there's other portions of this game that really take into effect just how strong a card can get. Now, one of the main things to remember in Champions is this game's been around for like 6 years. In that time, there has been multiple cards released, and some that were top tier in the beginning are no longer top tier, such as Showboat Andre. You have cards that look really good on paper, but when you go into game, they don't scale well. So the newer the card, the harder it's going to hit, especially with move damage. Gem damage may be different now with 6-star silver. I plan on testing that out with Zombie Undertaker. So today we're going to go into a Godfather sort of tutorial on the best way to auto grind with him. And then we're going to be looking at metals, why grinding is important, and what it does to benefit your roster. So everyone should have Showboat Godfather at this point. He's been free for the last 2 years. When he originally came out about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I want to say it's about 4 years ago is when he came out. He was a grinding game changer because we didn't have a means for loot boxes. So, and by that, I mean the VIP tours, unless you were spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a week, your level wasn't really up there. So when you got the KOK subscription, you got probably 4 to roughly 6 extra boxes, which RNG being the meta at that time would allow you to kind of grind, kind of not. Before the Godfather, there was Tech Ted DiBiase. He was the one that you wanted to grind with. But again, at that time, you only had a max of 15 HP. There wasn't a whole lot of ways to get HP outside of that. And the healing for the cards wasn't instantaneous. You basically had to rely on your faction. You had to kill him off, rely on your faction to heal him up for you, or you waited for hours on end for him to be fully healed, unless you wanted to blow through your entire HP. Nowadays, 10 times easier. The HP basically comes back within a few minutes, and we have enough trainers and belts and medals and everything like that to basically make him one shot. But the thing is Godfather still doesn't hit very hard. Again, I go back to the years being a thing. He has not been scaled. So what you basically want to do here, I don't have the proper belt on him right at this moment. I have a defense belt on him, apparently. Turns out I had that. But one of the belts that you want to get is called the Rainmaker belt. We call it the universal belt strictly because it can go on everybody. It doesn't have limitations. Right now, my Rainmaker belt is on Trick Becky because I never got a good belt for her, and it just kind of sit it and quit it kind of thing. That increases gem damage. The Rainmaker does. It increases loot gem damage, which on Godfather here is ideal because his finisher fills the whole board with loot gems. What you want to get is this skill plate, the Godfather's Mojo. When you break 5 or more loot gems, get 5 purple MP moves at the end of your turn. That's phenomenal, especially for grinding. You also want to get these medals, Make It Rain medals. Make It Rain medals go with the Rainmaker belt. Now, the reason for all of this is because his finisher fills the board with loot boxes. You want that damage on there. Sadly, it's a set piece of 4, so you have to have all 4 across the board for an additional 1,600 loot gem. So what I'm going to show you today with Godfather is basically two different builds. The first build I'm going to show you is the auto finisher end it all grind session. So the moves that I've put here, really, they don't really make too big of a difference. If you take him to 6-star bronze, you get the big boot, which increases your loot gem damage by 100% for 2 turns. I'm personally thinking of taking the Godfather to 6-star bronze just to test out a theory. My theory is that trainers, these guys here, their damage, their abilities go first. And then the medals from your belts stack on top of that, and it goes in that order. Main reason for that is Hall of Fame Shawn Michaels. We talked about in the last video his health. His health was 43 million, 42 million. It was up there. It was 40 million something. I went and put striker Papa Shango on him that has 50. His ability is 50,000 health increase. Solid number. So I thought, hey, let's test that out. If it comes out that it's only 50% or 50,000, then I know. But with the vitality belt on him, I have an additional 40. We said 52% in the last video. So I went into a match with him. I was almost to 50 million health. So my theory is it goes trainers, then the belt. So whatever your trainers are bringing onto the table, that's what your belt is going to increase their potential for. So today we have yellow moves with 4 more, yellow moves with 2 more. That charges up the finisher. The perk system is required for this to work turn 1. Cannot stress that enough. You need to have the tour perks maxed out. Get that plus 3 MP. It makes the difference. It is required. So I put on Santa Hogan just for the additional 2,200. I'm really hoping sometime soon they bring out some more Santa Hogan shards. This needs to be up. He needs to be able to compete with the rest of the cards. Really, K-Quick or R-Truth, whatever you want to call him, really, he's only in here to increase the finisher damage. It's hit or miss, really. I really wish there was a loot gem over here. To be honest, I wish Striker Vince would be repurposed into a coach instead of a trainer, but we'll get into that with this second moveset. So now the reason why I have it set up this way is because if you go and toss on either one of these onto here, really not going to help you with speed. Yes, it'll help you with damage if you go with the Hoe Train. It'll help you a little bit with damage just because of the multiply gems, but that's also board situational. You have to have a majority or a good amount of loot gems on the board for that to be beneficial. But right here, all it's going to do, the auto is going to hit. This is going to charge. The AI is going to see that this is charged, hit it, and quit it. Call it good, and we'll go from there. So let's go and test this out. Like I said, this is a big video. If you want to fast forward, you can fast forward. If you want to just watch the gameplay footage, you can watch the gameplay footage. It's to each their own. Normally, I wouldn't throw on auto because I want to show you how things go, but this is an auto build, so it needs to be seen. Let's do one quick thing here. Perk system. The reason for this being as much as it is 20% more health. Well, I guess that played a role into the 4.7 or 47 million. We're going to check during feud today. All color moves start with 3 more move points. Critical. Has to have the 3 move points. Matching color gems by 2, that helps out for everybody else. But the plus 3, that is what matters. So let's hit this. In the description, I am going to have what tours you want to hit for the easiest Godfather grinding you can for TP and metal bits. So see, the AI immediately hit the finisher. Blows up the board. You don't care for Cascade because he's already dead. This is why this works. Now, the other reason why I'm choosing these tours is because of the rewards that come out of it. You're automatically going to get all 3. But see, you're getting good hell mode material here, and I'm happy this came up this way. The metals, a majority that I've been getting are tier 3 metals, so you're getting a lot of metal shards or metal parts from that. 1750 is usually around where I get to. I think 1500 is the other one. And then 5 is 5 TP, but sometimes it does do 10. 10 is a little bit rarer, but it does happen. So there's that one. That is one and done. Hit it and quit it. Let's do one more just for craps and giggles. We'll show you a gender. Now, I will tell you this, trickster grinding is a little bit more difficult because it does have that potential that your finisher is going to get dodged. I was really hoping it didn't happen there because I was going to cry just a little bit. And there we go. One done, ready to go. This takes seconds. The majority of the time wasted on this, if they had a button that says fight again and just start back over, then that'd be great. I got tier 2. Okay, so best places to go, in my opinion, is the New York section of the Summer Showdown Tour. Now, this may be covered by my graphic, but again, I am going to have it in the description what nodes to go for and in what tour to go for. The reason I'm saying this, these are, I didn't have enough luck in NXT or the third tier one. The drops there were not great. They were kind of similar to the original drops. This one, for some reason, it changed. I don't know if this is for everybody. This is just my experience. That's why I'm giving you this information based off my knowledge. If you have other knowledges, by all means, comment it down below. So for New York Hell mode, you're going to go with number 98. For green TP, you're going to go with 101. Or, I mean, you could go 99. 99 is gender, though. That's a trickster node. So there is a possibility of dodging. 101 is powerhouse, and it's British Bulldog. So no chance of missing there. We're going to go 102 for black TP. Basically, either 102 or 103 is really good for black. Strikers don't have the best of health. And then we'll go to 106, which is the cap for yellow. And the reason why I chose this one is a tag team. Because if you do your links and you do the gems do 10% more damage, to me, it helps with the cascade portion of it. You're still going to one-shot, but we all kind of like to have tag teams every now and then. Shake that out a little bit. Reason I clicked this, I just wanted to show. But since this is a technician, must have been part of the tour. Since it's a tech, no chance to dodge. And then we're going to back out of New York. And we're going to go down to Baltimore. This one, you go 128 for blue, 130 for purple. And again, I cannot stress this enough. Trickster tours with the purple TP, the hardest ones to go with, only because of the dodge. So now, this is where I stress all of the amounts of belts for him. If you can put the Rainmaker on him, by all means, put the Rainmaker belt on him. It'll help out a lot. But if you're going for, if you don't have the Rainmaker and you don't have the Make It Rain medals, you're really going to want to go with, let's see if it's in my previous. It is in my previous. You're going to go here and here. You're going to switch out the 2 trainers. You're going to keep the coaches. So you're going to go with Vince, which right now he is he's sitting a little low for me. He's going to give an additional 3450, it looked like. Yep, because we're at the 13,000, or no, we're at the 15,000. Going to give an additional 3,450 on the loot gems, and then purple moves get 2 more MP, which is nice. If you can get him to 5-star silver to go for the 4,500, that makes a big difference. And again, purple MP still crucial. But this is going to rely off going off the sidewalk slam first, charging up that pimp drop. Okay. So I have not done this setup in a while. I do not recommend auto running this because the AI has a tendency to overdo it a little bit on gem damage. If it reads that the move plus the gems is going to pin the person, it's going to do that first and foremost. It doesn't care that you're trying to grind out stuff. It just doesn't. So I really do not have a good place. Is it straight up and down? Okay, it is straight up and down. I still don't have really a good place, but we're going to go right here. Nope, we're going to go here. Better safe than sorry. Again, you have to play it carefully. You have to really, you stick to the corners. Stick to the corners, okay? And see, that automatically charged up the finisher. Then you hit the finisher. Let's see what sort of damage comes from having vents on here. This one's the two-step. Go purple, then you go finisher. So yeah, close to 600k. Like, he's 5-star gold. That's not life-changing. But the loot gems coming out of it is life-changing. And this brings up medals. So the medals come across here. Now, there are people, and there is a strategy with month-long events that you hold on to the keys. Those keys are going to be in your rewards section right over here. Now, me personally, I don't fully hold on to everything all the time. I have a tendency to just hit claim all. What that does is if your metal catalog, your stash of metals or whatever is at its max limit, it will drop the metal or the other metals into your rewards and set them up here. That way you can kind of look, see, I don't want this. I don't like padded. Padded's a waste of my time. Vitality, on the other hand, if this was a percentage, I would hold this just because I have a couple of cards that need that extra health, such as Hall of Fame Sean or Showboat Molly Holly. So what you do is you just hit select all. You can claim selected, and it'll bring up the choice if you want to expand your medals. If you do it. I mean, we all have, at a certain point, you reach enough tier 5 medals that you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to have and get rid of to replace. But a lot of the times you want to expand it out to have your Fury inventory, your Takedown inventory, Vitality inventory, armor. Again, padded is crap. I don't like padded. I only use it if the medal is absolutely game breaking, such as a 200% move damage that I know for a fact I don't have Fury or Takedown for. You're also going to have your Fury 2 and Takedown 2. So if you don't like any of these, you don't want to keep all of them, you just hit the sell button. You're going to see how much you're going to get. Just hit OK, wipes it out, starts you out fresh. This brings me on to the metal section. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more drawn out. And again, I apologize, but this video is strictly for that because you need to know how to work your belts. I've seen a lot of people, and I don't know if it's a visual glitch in regards to the feuding or the showdowns or whatever, but in Showdown and in feuds, I guess everywhere now, in every single section, I'm just going to bring this up just to show. You can see that their belt, and you can see what's strapped to that belt. Now, this guy has decided that he just woke up and chose violence today and went for full armor on both of his defense. Let's see what their belt looks like, honestly, because this is kind of funny to me. Nope. He just went for... Okay, he just went defense. Okay, so Showdown is where the armor medals come into play. Now, I have 2 cards in particular that I use for Showdown when the requirement hits. And the reason for that is their belt. So, Zombie Ray right here. His belt is 40% increased gem defense. So you slap on a full set of armor, you're looking at 60% increase. Then you have the plate, which increases it up a lot more. Right now we're looking at 153%, so most likely it'd be about 173%. This helps in Showdown because Showdown perks do not increase gem damage, and a lot of people just straight up don't check those. But what you do, and this is the armor setup, we're going to go for gem defense right there. You want Trickster Honky Tonk Man for that 30% increase. That is big. There is a coach that gives defense as well. I don't know what that coach is because I don't have it. But if you do, you slap both of those on there. You get a nice little move charge increase. And you go with, where are you? Move charge. Right here. So you have Alundra, Mutant Seth. I know there's one more. Oh, and Powerhouse KO. I think there's two other ones after that that I don't have, sadly. I mean, we can't have all the cards. Some of us aren't that rich. But what this setup does is it basically ensures I need three black gem match, and all of my moves are charged. Go through my cycle, hit it, and a majority of the time people can't kick out because of the fact that the 30% on top of my 70% is 180%. I think that's what we came up with. Yeah, so if you have 173% here plus that, you're looking at 203%. You're negating out quite a bit of their stuff, and they can't really kick out. That is a showdown only setup for a majority of the cards. The reason why I say a majority is there are certain lucky few who have really high increased gem defense belts that they throw onto the crappy cards that have the tours for. So one that comes to mind was Junkyard Dog. The fact that he's a showboat doesn't really hit that hard. If you had a belt that was gem defense, you throw that onto him. You throw on some armor, throw on Trickster Honky Tonk Man. You could generally what we call cheesing the nodes. You can go through and kind of get through them a little bit easier than normal. Granted, it's not a one shot for hell mode, but easy and hard, it plays itself out. You can kind of see where I'm going with it. Makes things a lot harder to kick out. So that's armor. Now, vitality. Vitality medals are a little controversial in my opinion. They work on some, they don't work on others. The reason why I have this, I've chosen Sean and I've chosen Molly out of my roster is because one, Sean has the Triple H plate. So putting on Fury 2, Fury 1, what have you, all that's really doing is just kind of increasing it for a little bit faster win. But come like this weekend's feud, which starts in 4 hours at the time of this recording. In that feud, I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of people who are wanting to one shot. So I kind of want to set up some sort of a tank, a wall, if you will. And I really kind of wish his belt was at like 25% more health. That'd be freaking awesome. But sadly, it's only 3%. So we just have increased everything with the vitality medals. My opinion, and this is strictly my opinion, is gem damage medals don't really truly play too big of a role. They help on kickout, but what you want to focus on is move damage, and you also want to do move defense and all gem defense as well. So with vitality, I like to break this up. If you can go and max level all of your medals, fantastic. By all means, do that. That is my goal. That's what this grinding video is for, is to teach you how, or to kind of show you the quick, easy way to get those metal parts and start building them up. At level 11 or 12, I want to say it gets a little bit more difficult, but that's the reason why I advocate for the metal or the strap up pass. It helps your odds up to level 11, 12, 13. I think it's level 13. It increases your odds and kind of helps you grind out a little bit more. What you're looking at between level 12 and level 15, which is the max, you're looking at roughly 300, 400,000 metal shards or metal parts to max it out. That is on a rough day. I've had a couple of them that it really only took 100,000 to get it completely maxed, but that was pure luck. RNG is a big thing when it comes to metal parts. So what I would do here, what I am doing, not what I would, what I am doing with Sean, is I'm grinding out metal parts so that way my all gem defense is completely increased. So we'll have 20% on gem defense. We will have 27.5% on vitality or on all move defense. And what I'm hoping is in these substats here, there is a health increase for percentage. That's the reason why this particular medal is on him. Purple doesn't really apply unless you're doing the purple moveset. Me personally, I don't go with the purple moveset because I have the Triple H plate. But what it has is an additional 9.39% health increase. To me, that's money. To me, that's value. It increases what I'm already trying to have the gems do. Moving on. This is such a big thing to talk about. It's so complex. It looks super basic, but it is so complex. Because now we move on to Warrior. Warrior is a very difficult card to understand. Now, we all know what Warrior does. Warrior blows up the board. So you clearly want Fury 2, right? You want that percentage. And that's what I went for here. I have an additional 80% from my medals. And then my last medal is an additional 29.75. It will be 35 once I can get that last level in there. And that'll increase his damage when it comes to everything else. But his moves are one charge moves. One charge moves generally do not hit as hard as what you would like for them to. So here, what I could easily do is, you could slap on a percentage medal and make this, it's 71,000, 71,000. Yeah, you could easily slap a 200%er on here. You're getting 7, 14, 21, getting 210 off of one move. So you're looking at $500,000, which is great. By all means, go for that. And personally, I think I just talked myself out of my own point because of seeing that. And Warrior is probably not the best example, but I'm going to stick with it. The reason I'm saying this is they're low, right? You look at any of the other new cards, they're in the 100,000s. They're in the 200,000s because of the fact that their move damage hits really hard. So what I did with him is I threw on that all move damage solid number, 15,000. Again, I am talking myself out of this as I'm going through this. So by all means, rip me apart if you need to. Be honest with you, I'm most likely going to do that now that I've actually thought about this. I kind of want to. I'm going to do it. Oh, I'm crazy. Oh, I'm so crazy. So we're looking at 139%. Let's see if I can get a level onto it. This is where I want to show you guys why at certain levels it takes a little bit. So you're looking at medium low here. The strap up pass has improved that. So since I don't have the strap up pass, that's probably along the lines of a low to low plus. And will take a lot more metal parts to increase it. Nope, nothing. Oh well, such is life. But that's the reason why we grind. So let's see here what we have for damage on the field. Just gonna make this quick. So what I was going at with that was the low impact of the moves. You go with a solid number. So I guess that would actually work for, older cards that don't necessarily, that only have like 6. Oh, that's it right there. I got you. I have got you. Striker Randy. God, you gotta love this raw footage, don't you? I sound so educated, and in all reality, I'm not. Right here. Okay. Randy Orton is an amazing card. I love Randy. He is phenomenal. But look at that damage. 8,438, 8,350. Those percentage moves can go on people who need them. Randy does not need it, or does not need percentage. Because you're looking at 8, 16. Even at 200%, you're looking at an additional 16,000. That medal that we had on Warrior, which I should have saved those parts for, but again, we're grinding. He's got 46% here. I go and slap this bad boy on there. I'm looking at a little bit higher damage. It helps. So the solid numbers are meant for cards like Randy. The percentages are meant for newer cards like Acro, Warrior. I mean, all of these cards across the board here. I mean, you look at them, you already know that their moves are a lot higher. So I'm probably bouncing around a little bit, but I'm trying to put as much information while being as quick with it as possible because I could go on for hours about each individual medal. But let's go and see what Warrior has to do here. I want to go with a single. Sure. Go up against you. Rotate you out. Okay, so we said before that Acro Warrior, his moves 71,000, 61,000. We slap that plate on there, or that metal on there. Gotta stop saying plate, they're two different things. Slap that metal on there. Let's see what his red moves look like. This is completely different if you have the braid plate, or just to kind of put that out there. 172,000 damage, 148,000. These are on constant repeat because you're hitting it over and over and over and over and over again. So you're looking at about just 1,000,000 health just from the simple act alone of going through your rotation. Which again, not bad, not a problem. Can end fights a little bit quicker. And I probably just helped myself out a little bit in my fights because those were only ranging at 80,000. So I made it a little bit better for me. You can do this for yourself too. Hey, and we got some nice things out of that. So now we'll switch over to Randall real quick. Just to kind of show what that increase does. Play around with Randall. Pay no mind to the head games plate that's on Randall. I'm kind of playing around with his kit. Okay, so we're looking at 12,000 here, 12,000 there. This must have something on it for some reason. That's weird. That should be higher. That should be at least 20s. Wow, way to make me into a liar there, game. You're phenomenal. Yeah. Now I'm curious. Sometimes you try and make a point, and sometimes the game goes, hey, you're not going to make that point today. Guess what? I'm going to freaking try. I'm not sold on this plate. Create 10 random botch gems when this superstar lands a critical gem hit. I have not seen that work out in my favor at all. So, yeah, we're going to kind of veer away from that. Oh, it's because it was only 46. Figured that out. That's why. Alrighty. So, all right, sorry about that. I had to answer a phone call, so sorry for the silence there. So this is where I messed up at. I did not switch out the belt or the metal. Okay. So yeah, we're looking at an additional 7,000 roughly. Yeah, and if I can increase this up just a little bit more, that will make a difference. So I need to switch that over at some point before this feud hits. Okay, so we've talked about vitality. We've talked about armor. We've talked about solid numbers. What we're going to talk about now is takedown. Now, takedown is only really going to apply to cards like Liv Morgan. If you see a card such as Liv that has high damage move, you have 471,000 here. This is just for Liv. And you go out to Triple H. Triple H has 297,000, 328,000. When you see stuff like that, you want to increase that as much as possible. So, what most people do is you look at the cards. So, like Liv, her and Triple H are basically the exact same. You lay down gems, you increase your move, you hit the move, you hit the gems, you hit the move, you hit the gems. I have triple green on Liv because of that 116,000 here. I'm increasing with her medals. I am about 90% complete when it comes to Liv. Well, let's go with 80% because what I would prefer to have on her is 100% move damage, and for this green to be a takedown 2. I would want to see her number, where is it? Right here. This be as close to 400,000 as possible, strictly because of her move damage. Now, if you have a card, say, let's see if I can think of one here. Powerhouse Sammy. Yep, Powerhouse Sammy. This is where it's going to make the most sense. Powerhouse Sammy, his big draw is the 125,000 bonus for every red gem on the board, generating 10 gems or 10 red gems, and then hitting the Halua kick, then going for the blue Thunder Bomb. He is a gem damage person, but he has the blue Thunder Bomb at 871,000 for the hit. So what you want to do, ideally, I would want a Fury 2 medal right here. I would want 40% all across the board, and I would want this black move damage to be 200%. So that way I'm doing 2.4 million damage off of the black move and blowing up the entire board with black gems. That with drip plate increases it 1 shot 6-star silvers like they are nothing. You're hitting roughly, shoot, with my build, I was hitting 11 million, 12 million just off the move or the Haluva kick. Yeah. So if I was able to have red gems up to well over 100%, because see, I only have a 10% move damage. See, ideally, it'd be 100% move damage or 100% gem damage on top of another. So additional, I would like to see this at 200%, ideally, because that affects the moves. But, or hits, yeah, it affects the gem damage, so it does ultimately affect the move. I want to say it plays a role here. I want to say this. I want to say it does. So we're going to test that real quick. This is a long, drawn-out educational video, and if you've made it to this point in the video, please comment down below. Why Barrett? That's what I want commented below if you made it this far. Why Barrett? He is the new chase card. I don't understand why he exists. Okay, so Powerhouse Sammy, we put the drip plate on. Drip plate because it's triple black. He's gem damage. It makes for a fun time. Oh, I did not put his trainers on him. This is going to be stupid. Okay, I just wanted to see, actually. Yep, 244,000. What trainers do I have on him right now? I only have on red gems do 12% more. So we're just going to hit here. Some moments you just kind of question whether or not you made the right call. I'm not using him for this feud, so I don't have him set up right now. Let's see if it'll show the damage. Nope, didn't show it across the top there. Huh, no graphics at all for damage. Interesting. Yeah, 2.7. But we have 100%, so we know on that one it's that third move is most likely 2 million. Somewhere around those parts. But again, that's kind of what I'm talking about. These medals and everything are so subjective. They play a very, very critical role in everything that you do in this game. You can literally watch the month-long characters that are crap that you have to keep at 3-star gold or 4-star gold because you can't take them up any higher, facing 5-star silver and 5-star golds and doing minimum damage. You can see that. Strap a belt on them, put the proper medals on them, and you'll watch your damage triple, if not quadruple, to take them out, especially with the bonuses for those months. So cards like M. Seth, you want to go with Fury because you want to go with Fury 2 because all of his builds are gem based. You have your mutated Stomp Puller, which is a submission, but it's a color submission. So those gems do increase or do have the damage. You have the increased damage here. You have your blast gems. So he's Fury 2 because he's solely based off the board gems. That's what he's based off of. His damage based off the moves can be hit or miss. Triple H, takedown because of how hard the moves hit. Showboats. A majority of the time, showboats just need to be increased more health. They are your tanks. Okay? To me, showboats they don't hit nearly as hard, but they can do the work. The problem with showboats is their gem damage is low. So when they get into the 2 to 3 notches left on the health bar, they tend to not be able to kick out very much. So if you can make someone, if you can make someone work harder to take down your showboat, make them work harder. Nakamura is an exception to this rule. He one-shots everybody, so he needs to be Fury 2 because his moves are wrapped around gem damage. For yellow, if you have a card that has damage or bonus damage for every color gem, you want to go Fury 2. Fury, yes, Fury does work, but you want to go with Fury 2. You want to increase it as much as humanly possible because it may very well one-shot whoever you're going at. Now, I brought up Molly Holly because Molly Holly can do 2 different things. One, you can do Vitality. Vitality works very well on her because of the fact that gem damage is up, or the females don't hit nearly as hard as the males. So with the showboat health increase the way it is, if you can up that, you can have the fights draw out a little bit more. But the other reason is her main build, especially if you have her gear, is submission based. It is color submission based, so you can justify putting on Fury 2. I don't justify it, to be honest with you. I believe the Fury 2s need to go on something else. So I just increased her health so that way people have a little bit more difficult time taking her down, especially with submission. It's a control character. You are controlling their end. The only thing that turns her off is the escape artist, and that just basically lowers her damage and makes you fight just a little bit harder. But either way, it's a color submission, so either way, these are charged constantly. Unless that person has a break, like I've got, it breaks on the first shot, they have a submission, and it lowers them down. Like, it's just kind of the balance. There is a give and take on everything in this game. So again, I cannot stress this enough. Work your medals. Don't just get the medals and go, oh, well, I have 40% increase. That's going to be enough. No, you need to get percentage. As the stars increase, it needs to stay with percentage. We saw with Warrior, with those moves, that I thought a solid number was going to be good for him. Turns out it's not. It needs to be percentage increase. Same thing with Striker Orton. I thought that the Fury increase would be just fine because he's gem damage based. But having this additional thing be 15,000 solid number, because his move damage is so low, that's going to increase. You're building him up as you go. You're just building. If you can, what my suggestion is it's the same way with bringing up your roster. If you have top cards that you play with all of the time, grind out metal parts. Grind out what you need to do for their medals. Max those medals. Use those to carry your roster until you can have a plethora of choices, and then start picking and choosing who are your mains, who are your backups for those mains. You should be looking at least one card of each class one card of each era as your objective, really, to get to 6-star. You want to go with the most popular, which would be, for modern. Clearly, it's Seth for modern. There's no question about that. But he also meets the mutant requirement as well. So that helps there. Females, you want one of each class to start with. You want one striker, one showboat, one acro, one tech, one powerhouse. You want to go down that route. So that way your bases are covered on promoters. Then you can work on era after that. But there's really not much in the female division for eras right now. Unless you spend a bunch of money and you get every single card when it comes out, then you have choices. But how you want to set yourself up for the highest amount of success. Okay? The weekend events are going to give you the most coin. They're going to give you the most resources. They may not be the greatest to look at when you are initially going into the event, but you got to remember this stuff builds. You can't just, unless you're spending money over and over and over again, your resources are going to be limited. So what I go and tell everybody is how you want to moderate this out is you want to go weekend events or kickoff tour. You want to take cards to 6-star bronze or 6-star silver. Throughout the week, do not evolve cards. Don't. It doesn't help you. The coin event has a cap for a reason. What you want to do with those is you want to check your coin event. Now, if you've made it to this part of the video, comment coins. We get it. But coin event's not up right now, so I don't even know why I chose this. I knew it wasn't up, but I think it's like 48 million caps the coin event. So what you can do is you can take your portion of coin, allot your 48 million to your 6 stars. Okay? You go into it, you click on whoever you're working that day, whoever you want to max out. Like my current projects for the coin events are all my 6-star silver guys. I want them at max capacity by the end of the month because I have 4 of them. I don't see me getting more than 4 by the end of the month. So I know I'm going to get new cards. I know I'm going to potentially want to work those cards, but those cards need to take a back seat. You get new cards constantly and people go, oh my God, that card's amazing. Take it to the moon. Yeah, take it to the moon, but not right at that moment. Don't negate out who you've been working, right? So me personally, I put Tech Triple H, Mutant Seth, and Hall of Fame China up to max because 1, solid stars. 2, when I get the resources for them, they're going to go 6-star silver. I don't have to worry about spending more coin to shoot them up and then evolve them. Doesn't help. So what you want to do is you want to take your card, you want to hit the plus button all the way up to right underneath or exactly on the amount of coin for the coin event. Hit it, sit until the next day. This game is teaching you more about patience than anything else because if you jump the gun, you're not going to have any resources later on. But you get enough coin through the weekend events that you can easily moderate out your week. Now, if there is a talent up midweek, at that point, talk with your faction. Be like, hey, I have X, Y, and Z I can take up. Should I take them up now? If the faction goes and says, yes, that's going to help, take their opinions into consideration and take them up if you need to. Outside of that, you want to just focus on doing levels throughout the week. You want to focus on doing moves throughout the week for TP events. Like it's kind of a back and forth, to be honest with you. Let me double check here real quick. See if I got this right. TP event is all week. Scratch that TP comment. The TP comment, scratch it. Use your TP and max the TP on weekend events when there is an upgrade or a talent up event going on. Right now, the Barrett Barrage is going on. And for you to be able to help your faction Increase talent of raw superstars, increase talent of trickster superstars, level up a 6-star superstar, spend medals. This is where I'm putting in the rest of it. Increasing talent means you can use the TP, increase your talent, contribute to your faction, get your TP competition filled out, and get all of those rewards for that for the month-long event. Level up a 6-star superstar. You can put coin into it if you want to, but you're not going to be able to double dip. You need to be able to double dip. Everything is stretched so thin lately, you kind of need to double dip when you can double dip. Note that this contest ends 12 hours after feud. Okay. Sorry, I misread that, and I was starting to get panicked for a second. But I just threw a lot of information at you. This is going to be an hour-long video. Kind of sorry, not sorry kind of thing. There was a lot of information. It needed to be said. The beginning of this was to showcase Godfather and how to properly grind with Godfather to get the most bang for your buck. Again, excuse me. Wow, that came out of nowhere. Again, I'm going to put in the comments the nodes to grind. So that way you can just, or not in the comments, in the description below, I'm going to put the nodes that you want to go to for the quickest Godfather wins with the highest reward value. We also touched on all the medals. Medals are complicated. Do not be afraid to ask your team, your faction, your friends, what medals do you think should go on here? Why do they go on here? Educate yourself while learning the process. It takes a while. There's a lot of people, such as myself, who've been doing this for a while, but as you saw before, I made mistakes with my medal placement. I use Warrior all the time. Never occurred to me the medals were wrong. So you always want to kind of double check, because there are filler medals. I call them filler medals because there's certain cards that require the move damage increase or the gem percentage increase, but you don't have everything for them. Let's go with Trick Becky here just to make an example of it. Nope, let's not go with Trick Becky. You know what? Let's go with Liv. Liv is the best way to describe this because her setup. Right now, I have Takedown 2, Takedown 2. These aren't placeholders. The Takedown is a placeholder. It does what I need it to do, but it could always be better. It could be a Takedown 2, but it's a Takedown 1. It just does 50% of what I want out of it. So until I get a Takedown 2 medal that does green move damage up 200%, she's going to stick with this. Placeholder, if you will. Don't be afraid to put placeholders. Don't be afraid to have a stash of Fury and Takedown that you're going to put on new cards that you get as placeholders until you get the Takedown 2 or the Fury 2 medals. Okay? If you have questions, ask them. No one is going to judge you for asking questions to get better. It's when you don't ask questions and you just go off the handle, that's when people make comments. But when you ask a question, people don't make comments. They try to be more helpful than anything else. We also talked about coin events. Coin events are critical. Leveling up cards is critical. Do your levels. Don't just shoot it all off during every weekend event. Spread out your resources the best of your ability. TP. It's super, super enticing that when the event starts to just blow all the TP that you can just to cap it and kind of walk away. But if you notice, if you do that at the very beginning, there's something missing throughout the week. And you realize that as you're leveling up your moves throughout the week, nothing's happening. You're wasting resources. You're ultimately adding to a leaderboard that really the only people who chase the leaderboards are the ones with 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 TP because they spend so much money. They get those 1,000 TP bags. They just open them up and dun, 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 they have enough to keep going. They are essentially the ones who are going to chase the character every weekend, get that character, shoot it all the way up to 6-star bronze or eventually 6-star silver in one shot. So they're 1, helping their faction, 2, getting value off of it, and 3, making their way downtown. Walking fast, Faces passing their homebound. So, all of that being said, if you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, tell your friends. If you have questions, leave a comment down below what your question is. I will be more than happy to answer it as a response to your comment. I can make a video on it if you want to. You know, be more open about it. Be more open about your questions. So, with all of that being said, thank you for watching this video. Again, sorry it's an hour long, but is what it is, guys. When you got to be informative, you got to take that time. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Tell someone that you love them. Make sure that you keep a positive mindset. Negativity is too strong nowadays. Let's try and bring that back. Let's try and be more positive out there. As the New Day says, the power of positivity. We'll see you in the next video.